alongside me, Allison Steinheiser. And Allison, this has been a back-and-forth affair all the way through. Why wouldn't we expect this one to go right down to the wire?
For either team, if you're Gannon, you're like, all right, yes, we're only down by one. We hit the shots, we can do this. If you're California, you're back on your heels a little bit. During that timeout, you need to be telling yourself, okay, we're still up by one, we're still leading this game. We have 2:51 left, and for every shot they hit, we hit one, we win this ball game. So you just need to make sure that for California, you're hitting your shots. If you do that, you're not going to lose.
It'll be Adam Blazek bringing it back across half court. He'll go underneath. It's number 32 with it, Darnell Blanton. His shot's no good. Rebound picked up by the Vulcans. And California, with 2:31 left to play, have possession of the ball. It'll be Freddie Apia. And he'll go around to number 13, that is Trayvon Van. Back to Quentin Harding. Harding back to Apia again. Apia works it around to Van. Van will try to drive with it. His shot is blocked. And here come the Gannon Golden Knights. It's Blazek bringing it back across. And Freddie Apia working the defense well. And now it'll be kicked over to number 20, TJ Wilson. And Wilson's shot is up and good. It is 64-63. The Golden Knights have claimed the lead with just under 2 minutes to play.
California trying to slow it down a little bit. They're going to call a timeout, though. Bill Brown not liking what he's seeing. The Haverhill Center right now is fired up. They want to do everything they can to get back in this game. Will, I don't know about you, but I thought it was interesting with the way the Vulcans have been getting beat down low, points in the paint 34-30, that Steve Swick was not on the court for that last possession. They had more of a speed set out there, and I just think it was really interesting that, as Steve Swick does check into the game, but the players that they had out there were maybe more built for speed instead of defending that down low presence.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned in the 5 years I've been at California University, it's to trust Bill Brown, because he knows what he's doing. But I will agree with you, Allison. That is an interesting development for Bill Brown's defense to leave the big men out, or to leave the big men on the bench and go with that speed lineup, as you say. However, the California Vulcans, either way, they trail by one here with 1:52 left to play. The major advantage for California, though, and we've talked about this earlier in the game, is the fact that California still has 2 of their timeouts remaining. Meanwhile, the Golden Knights, they've got nothing to work with. They are out of timeouts.
And Swick's already played 23 minutes in this game, so the thinking may have been we need a little bit fresher, trying to get some fresher bodies out there to play defense. As now we see Tipton, Towns, Van, Harding, and Swick all on the court.
Coach Riley sees something he doesn't like, and she yells across to the officials and to the team. Meanwhile, Chad Tipton awaits the inbound. He'll bring it into Towns. Towns will hold on to it, and now he'll work it across to Van. Trayvon Van brings it around the middle to the top of the key. Back to Chad Tipton. Tipton almost loses it, and he's going to be called for a foul.
I think he stepped out of bounds, Will.
Yeah, they stepped out of bounds or traveled with it. I wasn't sure exactly what happened. Now they're not calling a foul, so apparently you're right, Allison. He did step out of bounds.
And he'll immediately go to the bench and take a seat. So 1:38 left to go here. California's going to have to hit a couple shots.
It'll be Blazek bringing it back across half court. Blazek working against Apia. Blazek will drive it in himself. He'll put one off the glass. That shot is no good. And this one's going to be against California. I'm not sure even how. CJ Towns irate talking to the official. And it'll be Towns with the foul, his second, team 8th. And that's going to send Gannon to the line.
And this is big because they've been good from the line, 90%, 9 for 10. for 2, so it is a 1-and-1 situation. He could make this where the Vulcans have to take a 3.
Well, the Mitchell Wheaton goes back to the bench. Steve Swick, who is out momentarily, comes back in. And Darnell Blanton makes his first shot. It's 65-63. And after leading by 2 or 3 points most of this game, Allison, what a development this has been for the Golden Knights as they have claimed a 2-point lead.
Normally they talk about this in a season, but it's all about whenever you peak and they hit the second one there. You don't want to be playing your best basketball in the first half. That's normally not a good sign, and that's something that the Vulcans did early.
They have lost a couple heartbreakers, including last Saturday to the Mercyhurst Lakers, an overtime loss, and then to Edinburgh on Wednesday from the Convocation Center. Now they trail by 3, and Steve Swick goes up over the top, gets his own rebound, and makes it fall. So Steve Swick comes back, and there's 64 and point number 65 as we tick under 60 seconds to play. It's a 1-point ball game. Gannon with the ball. It's Blazik. Blazik working around against Van. Blazik brings it back across. Nowhere to go. He kicks it to Darnell Blanton. Blanton will hold. Back to Blazik. 38 seconds left to play. 10 on the shot clock. Blazik once again tries to move with it. And now we're going to have another foul called.
I believe it's a foul. Maybe they said he traveled. I thought the official signal foul, but it may have been a travel. And Chad Tipton's going to check in for C.J. Towns. Either way, the Vulcans are going to get the ball at midcourt.
Well, C.J. Towns, or excuse me, it'll be, as you said, Chad Tipton inbounding to Trayvon Van. 30 seconds left to play. It's a 1-point ball game. California can hold for the last shot if they want. Shot clock is off, and Keith Lowe goes down. And we've got another whistle here.
It's going to be a foul on Blanton. So, we're going to see California get possession under their hoop. They will not go to the line. That's an example of fouls being huge. Only the team's 6th foul. It will not be a 1-on-1 situation.
6 fouls for Gannon, 8 for California. It'll be Keith Lowe to inbound. And his inbound is swatted off the backboard. Gannon takes possession, and the Hammermill Center comes alive once again.
It will, and all they have to do is hit these free throws. Will, you talked about it earlier, and I wanted to talk about it if we got a timeout. You said they've lost a couple heartbreaking losses. That can get in your head really quickly. If you start thinking, here we go again, you're going to make little mistakes like that. That is just an unlucky bounce. But that's probably not going to happen if they hadn't just lost in overtime. They weren't playing a tight game and just giving up a lead.
Well, we mentioned earlier how California has had a couple bad losses in recent memory. They have lost 2 games in overtime this season. The first on January 6th. That was an overtime. Oh, excuse me, that was a win in overtime. So the Vulcans have had experience with victory in overtime when they defeated Millersville at the Convocation Center. But then they fell to the Mercyhurst Lakers last Saturday in a game you heard here only on WCAL-FM. To the Mercyhurst Lakers, a heartbreaker. And then Wednesday at the Convocation Center, they lost again by 3 points. This time to the Fighting Scots of Edinburgh. And now after leading almost this entire game, they trail by 1 with the Golden Knights at the line with an opportunity to go up by 3.
And don't forget about that Slippery Rock game either, where they were winning most of the game, and then Slippery Rock came back with the buzzer beater.
Adam Blazik makes his first, excuse me, not Adam Blazik, that is Oscar Macias making the first shot. So it's a 2-point ball game with 20.2 seconds left to play. And Macias' second shot is up, and that one's no good. So it's a 2-point game. Cal can tie. 15 seconds to play, but they've got to move quickly. It's Keith Lowe. He goes over to Quentin Harding. Harding back to Chad Tipton. Tipton pulls up for 3, and he hits the 3! Chad Tipton!
I was just about to say Chad Tipton hasn't seen very many looks in this game. He is the 3-point specialist for the Vulcans. That last free throw was huge. They needed to hit it. The best they could have done was tied. If they had hit that free throw. Now we're going to see a couple of defensive players coming for the Vulcans. Chad Tipton only hit one shot the entire night. It was whenever they led 34-32. He just hit another one, and the Vulcans couldn't break this streak.
We talked about Chad Tipton off the bench being our player to watch at the top of the broadcast, and he hit some big three-pointers in the last matchup against Gannon, and this time he comes up with perhaps the biggest as he makes one with 7 seconds exactly to play. Vulcans were down by 2. They only needed 2 to tie. He got 3 for the lead, and now California leads 68-67, and the Hammermill Center is in disbelief right now.
Well, that's one of those situations where you hope you haven't left too much time on the clock. You have to kind of balance being able to have time to hit that 3, and if you do miss it, set up again and be able to get a rebound, and also not giving them too much time.
7 seconds to play exactly, and almost out of time to inbound were the Golden Knights, so they will throw the ball in off Mitchell Whedon's foot, and it'll bounce right back out of bounds. No time off the clock, and it's number 32, Darnell Blanton, to inbound. He will inbound to Blazek. Blazek under pressure. He's got nowhere to go. He gets it up to Darnell Blanton. Blanton with a long 3 from nowhere. It's off the basket and no good. The California Vulcans have done it here, and they have prevailed 68-67. What a finish.
What a finish indeed. The Golden Knights thought they had that game locked up once they hit those free throws. California coming back, 7 seconds left. Chad Tipton, I know he only hit 2 buckets. He's got to be your player of the game, though, for that clutch 3.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how many you score. It matters when you score them. And Chad Tipton, with the Vulcans trailing by 2 with only 7 seconds left to play, drains the three-pointer to give California the 68-67 lead. And then in the closing seconds, the Golden Knights could not make anything happen. They tried the three-pointer, it bounced off the rim, it was close, but it did not fall. Allison, any final thoughts?
The Vulcans broke out of it in a big way, 2 losses in a row. They have an extremely tough IUP team coming up. They're coming in with some confidence. They're going to need that swagger on Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday night it will be, and what a matchup it will be as the Indiana University of Pennsylvania Crimson Hawks come to town to take on the Vulcans of California. Make sure you come on down to the CalU Convocation Center for that one. It's going to be a fantastic game environment, I guarantee you that much. Whiteout night on hand as the Vulcans take on their most hated opponent in the Crimson Hawks. And what a better time to take them on than when they are number 17 in the land. Well, that'll do it for us here from the Hammermill Center on the campus of Gannon University from Erie, Pennsylvania. The California Vulcans win a thriller, 68-67 over the Golden Knights. We thank you for joining us on WCAL-FM Power 92. For Allison Steinheiser, my name is Will Moore. Final score once again, California wins it, 68-67. Good night, everybody.
All right, guys.
All right, Kevin, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.